Welcome to Tales by Evelyn. Hey there, my friends. Welcome back to Tales by Evelyn, a place where stories come to life, not just to entertain you, but to inspire you, challenge you, and maybe even change the way you see the world. Today, I want to share something truly powerful. You see, life doesn't change just because we wish it would. It changes when we change, when we shift our actions, our choices, and the way we show up every day. Sometimes, the smallest decisions, the ones we barely notice, are the ones shaping our future. Maybe you feel stuck, like nothing is moving forward. Maybe you keep wondering, why does nothing ever change? But what if I told you that the key to unlocking a different life is already in your hands? That all it takes is a shift in action, one small step that leads to another, and another, until suddenly, you're standing in a completely different reality? So, I invite you to sit back, relax, and really take this story in. Let it speak to you in whatever way you need it to. And if something in today's story resonates with you, don't keep it to yourself, share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. Now, let's begin. The power of small actions. Let's start with something simple, yet life-changing. Have you ever heard the saying, small actions lead to big results? It sounds cliché, but let's really think about it. Most people believe that in order to change their life, they need some huge breakthrough, some dramatic event that completely shifts everything. But in reality, it's not the big moments that shape us. It's the little things we do every single day. Think about it. If you decide to eat unhealthy for one day, nothing happens. But if you do it every day for a year, your health takes a hit. If you skip reading or learning today, no big deal. But if you stop learning for years, your mind stops growing. The same goes for your habits, your mindset, and even your relationships. It's never one big decision that changes everything. It's the small, unnoticed choices that build up over time. And the best part? You're in control of them. So here's something to think about. What are the small actions you repeat every day? Are they leading you toward the life you want? Or are they quietly keeping you stuck in the same place? Now, before we move on, I want you to really let that sink in. Because once you realize that the little things you do today are shaping your tomorrow, you start to see every moment differently. And that's where real change begins. Breaking the cycle. Now that we know small actions shape our lives, let's talk about something just as important, how to break out of the wrong cycles. You see, most people don't stay stuck because they want to. They stay stuck because they keep doing the same things over and over, without even realizing it. Have you ever felt like you were running in circles? Like no matter how much time passes, you're still dealing with the same struggles, the same doubts, the same fears? That's not because you're incapable. It's because you're trapped in a loop, a cycle of habits and thoughts that are keeping you exactly where you are. But here's the good news. You don't have to stay there. Breaking the cycle doesn't mean you have to change everything overnight. It just means you have to disrupt the pattern. Do something different. Even if it's small. Even if it's uncomfortable. Because the moment you start changing even one part of your routine, you start to create new possibilities for yourself. Maybe it's waking up 10 minutes earlier to plan your day. Maybe it's deciding to respond differently in a situation where you'd normally react out of habit. Maybe it's replacing just one negative thought with a more empowering one. Whatever it is, that small shift is all it takes to start a new cycle, one that moves you forward instead of holding you back. So, here's my question for you. What's one habit or thought pattern that you know has been keeping you stuck? And what's one small thing you can do today to break it? Because remember, change doesn't happen when you wait for the perfect moment. It happens when you decide to take action. The ripple effect of change. Now that we've talked about breaking the cycle, let's go even deeper. Because here's something most people don't realize, when you change even one small thing in your life, it doesn't just affect you. It creates a ripple effect. Think about throwing a tiny pebble into a still lake. At first, it seems small, almost insignificant. But then, the ripples start to spread. They grow bigger, moving further and further, until they reach the edges of the water. That's exactly how change works in your life. When you decide to shift one habit, even something as simple as waking up a little earlier, being kinder to yourself, or replacing one negative thought with a positive one, it doesn't just stop there. That one small shift starts influencing other areas of your life. Maybe waking up earlier helps you feel more in control of your day. That leads to better decisions. Better decisions lead to more confidence. More confidence leads to taking action on things you used to avoid. And before you know it, your entire life starts shifting, all because of one small change. But here's the best part, your change doesn't just affect you. It affects the people around you, too. When you show up differently, others notice. Your energy shifts. Your conversations shift. And suddenly, you're inspiring change in others without even realizing it. So, I want you to ask yourself, what kind of ripple effect do you want to create? What small action can you take today that will set off a chain reaction of positive change in your life? Because remember, even the tiniest shift today could lead to something life-changing tomorrow. The role of mindset in taking action. Now, let's talk about the real reason most people never take action, even when they know what they need to do. And it all comes down to one thing, mindset. You see, every action starts as a thought. And if your thoughts are filled with doubt, fear, or excuses, you'll never take the steps needed to change your life. Have you ever caught yourself saying things like, "I'll start when I feel ready. I don't have time right now. What if I fail? This is just how I am." If so, you're not alone. We all have these thoughts. But here's the truth, these aren't real limitations. They're just stories we tell ourselves. And the longer we believe these stories, the more they hold us back. But here's the good news, you can rewrite them. Instead of saying, "I'll start when I feel ready," try, "I'll start now, even if I'm not ready," because action creates readiness. Instead of saying, "I don't have time," try, "I'll make time, because this matters." Instead of saying, "What if I fail?" ask yourself, "What if I succeed?" And instead of believing, "This is just who I am," remind yourself, "I can grow, I can change, and I am not defined by my past." Because the moment you shift your mindset, you unlock a whole new level of possibility. So, my friend, what's one limiting belief that has been holding you back? And how can you start rewriting that story today? Action over perfection. Now, let's talk about something that stops so many people from making real progress, the obsession with perfection. How many times have you delayed starting something because you wanted to get it right? How many dreams have you put on hold because you felt like you weren't ready yet? Maybe you wanted to learn a new skill, start a project, or change a habit, but you kept waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect version of yourself. But here's the truth, perfection is just an excuse in disguise. The most successful people in the world didn't wait until they had all the answers. They didn't wait to feel 100% confident. They just started. They made mistakes, they learned, and they adjusted along the way. Because progress isn't about doing things perfectly, it's about doing them consistently. Think about a child learning to walk. They don't sit there thinking, "I'll start walking once I'm sure I won't fall." No. They stand up, they wobble, they fall, and they try again. And eventually, they learn to walk, not because they did it perfectly, but because they kept going. So, what's something in your life that you've been putting off because you're waiting for the perfect time? What would happen if, instead of waiting, you just took the first step? Remember, imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time. The courage to keep going. Now, let's get real for a moment, change isn't always easy. There will be days when it feels hard. Days when self-doubt creeps in. Days when you wonder if it's even worth it. And this is the part where most people give up. But here's what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck, the ability to keep going, even when it's hard. Think about any great achievement in history. Every athlete, every artist, every leader, every successful person has faced moments of struggle. They weren't immune to failure or fear. But instead of letting those moments stop them, they used them as fuel to keep moving forward. And you can do the same. The key is to stop looking at struggles as signs that you should quit. Instead, see them as proof that you're growing. Because every challenge, every setback, every difficult moment is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable than before. So, the next time you feel like giving up, remind yourself. This struggle is temporary, but my growth is permanent. I've overcome hard things before, and I can do it again. Every step forward, no matter how small, is still progress. Because the only way to fail is to stop trying. Becoming the person you were meant to be. Now, here's the most important part of this entire journey, becoming the version of yourself that you were always meant to be. Everything we've talked about, the small actions, breaking the cycle, shifting your mindset, choosing progress over perfection, and pushing through challenges, it all leads to this. Because at the end of the day, success isn't just about achieving goals or checking things off a list. It's about who you become along the way. Think about the kind of person you want to be. Someone who is confident, disciplined, strong, free. Someone who doesn't let fear control them. Who takes action even when it's uncomfortable. Who refuses to stay stuck in the same patterns. The truth is, that person is already inside you. You don't need to wait to become them. You just need to start acting like them, today. Right now. In this moment. Because the choices you make today are shaping the person you'll be tomorrow. And every small decision, every step forward, brings you closer to the life you were meant to live. So, ask yourself. What kind of person do I want to become? What would that version of me do differently today? How can I start showing up as that person, right now? My friend, if there's one thing I want you to take away from this, it's this: you have the power to change your life. It doesn't have to be a huge, overwhelming transformation overnight. It starts with small steps, choosing to take action, to shift your mindset, to keep moving forward even when it's hard. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start. And remember, this journey isn't about impressing anyone else. It's not about meeting some impossible standard. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, the one who already exists inside you, just waiting to step forward. So, what's one small step you can take today? One action, one decision that moves you closer to the life you want. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your journey. And if this message spoke to you, if it made you think differently, share it with someone who might need to hear it too. You are capable. You are stronger than you think. And your future is waiting. Now go take that first step.